to you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the plight of the farming community in India today. We have a lot of discussions in the House about infrastructure, about roads and airports and everything. But there is also the alternative thought that India could probably become the food bowl not only for itself but also for half of the world, as has been forecast by the Food and Agriculture Organization, which is an UN organization. And it says that much more land and much more agricultural activity will be required to feed the teeming millions if we calculate the present growth of the population of the world. Sir, I come from a state, the state of Orissa, which is primarily an agriculture-dependent state, and a majority of our population depends on agriculture for survival. But we find that while 4-lane, 6-lane highways are being built, many power plants are being built, many industries, mines-based industries are coming into existence, there is least concern or least regards to the needs and the requirements of the farmer. Sir, you are aware, as a seasoned politician, that before the late 60s and the early 70s, we used to import even our basic necessities like wheat and paddy and other things, like PL 480 is one such thing that I remember. It was American wheat, and the lingering effects of those imports are still visible when you go into the hinterlands of India, where you find certain seeds, like in Bangalore, sir, they call a grass that neither goat nor cows eat it. It is called Congress grass because it has a white topi kind of a thing on top of the flower. And when that pollination takes place, a lot of people get asthmatic attacks and physical problems arise. That is one story. The story is, yes, Congress gives you asthma. Please be sure of that. But the story, sir, is that we should concentrate on how to become a food bowl for the future of this world, not only of this country. We should make all efforts that we do not fall back into a food deficit country, which was the situation that existed in India prior to the Green Revolution. Sir, there is this community called Reddit on the internet, and I asked people, I said, there is a discussion on farming and agricultural practices. So if anybody has suggestions, would they be willing to give suggestions? I was surprised that educated young people, both men and women, were forthcoming from their own life experiences regarding agriculture, how many things could be set right with very simple, small efforts. Sir, I will suggest one thing. As you know, different political parties come up with loan waivers to farmers. They come up with free electricity. Then the government for years together, for decades together, has been subsidizing production of fertilizers and chemicals. Instead of subsidizing huge fertilizer plants or waiving of loans or pitting farmers that they are committing suicide because they are so poor, because we always look down on our farmers. Is there a method by which we can make farming an attractive proposition, an attractive occupation that people from cities, those who possess land, will wish to go back to their lands and start farming? So there are some concrete one or two proposals that I would like to give. Sir, all subsidies should be stopped to farming. Instead of subsidizing the inputs, the government, would it be willing to consider that it will take into account, say, a farmer owns a hectare of land. What is his electricity input? what is his fertilizer input, what is the amount of water for which he is paying cess, what is that input, what is the pesticides input, and his families and his labor input, his families and his laborers that he uses. You take that and make it a variable component, and it should be a state-based thing. The central government has to mandate states to work out a figure before every harvest so that you have a basic information on the cost of production of your food grain, paddy or wheat or whatever. And then you base your MSP on that cost and you double it. So suppose a farmer spends 500 rupees in a hectare of land as inputs, including his labor cost, your MSP should be such that he will fetch his, when his food grains come out, it fetches him 1,000 rupees for the 500 that he has put. So once you make farming profitable, people would want to go back to the village. Sir, minimum support price is one issue. The other issue is that we are not training our farmers with new technologies. For example, we are wasting a lot of water. Orissa is a state that has 10% of this subcontinent's freshwater resources flowing through its geographical boundaries. During monsoons, sir, there have been surveys and they have found that one good monsoon, sir, your state is deprived of water and we have excess of water. Sir, one good, healthy monsoon in Orissa, the water that comes down, the rain that comes down and goes into the Bay of Bengal, if that could be stored, that would be sufficient to undertake complete farming activities, drinking water, and we could produce electricity plus supply fresh sweet water to neighboring states for one whole decade. That means, sir, one rain means rest of the 9 years, if we could preserve that water, we will have no drought, no shortage of drinking water, no problems at all. But in reality, what we find, we do not harness the water resources. It washes away the topsoil and the farmer is left at the mercy of Mother Nature every which year without mercy, without any compensation. So this idea of compensation to the farmer, I think, is also a very perverted idea. Once you enable the farmer, once you put money in his pockets, not in your sarcastic programs like this JNNURM or your MGNREGS, but once you put money through his activities, then the farmer is rich enough to avail of medical facilities, education facilities, and health also. He can do everything on his own. So the government has to work out a policy where the farmer is enabled to make money out of his produce. Are we willing to do that is the question this government has to ask itself. It has thought too much about the big people, about the urbanites, about people who are living in well-to-do conditions, but let us give respect back to the farmer. Let us put money back in the pockets of the farmer. Let farming be a respectable and a well-considered profession. Let us give that confidence to our farmers. Thank you, sir.
Right. Now, Sri Samidanand Saraswati.